What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, with only a limited number of release dates in and around the end of the Multiverse saga coming after Avengers Doomsday but before Avengers Secret Wars, we had a pretty good inkling that in those release dates were going to be major franchise titles, and at the channel, we've maintained it was going to be Shang-Chi 2, Doctor Strange 3, or Thor 5 in at least one of them. Well, it appears as though we were correct at least on one front, and according to the news breaking in the last day or two, Marvel Studios is now fast-tracking Thor 5. We even have an update for the timeline on production, what they're looking to do with the director. We're going to break down all the latest news as it applies to Thor 5 and what Marvel Studios is looking to do for the end of the Multiverse saga with that specific character. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button, we do daily Marvel content at the channel. That's all we do. Everything from official Easter egg breakdowns, trailers, and reviews to the occasional industry insider report and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the sub button, leave a comment down below. That automatically enters you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway. The next one is right around the corner for Agatha all along. Again, all you gotta do is be a sub, leave a comment if you want, stick around at the end of the video. We get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so the latest update making its rounds for Thor 5, again, this breaking in the last couple of days as re-reported by Screen Rant, is that apparently Marvel Studios is looking to fast track that film to make it a part of the end of the Multiverse saga. They're trying to fast track it so much so that they're looking to move filming from the original rumor of early next year, which is clearly not the case. They don't have a director attached yet, to start in fall of 2025, giving it a release date of somewhere in late 2026, early 2027, again in between Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. Now, this actually tracks with a ton of official updates and reports we were getting from way earlier in this year, early 2024, coming from the likes of Deadline and The Hollywood Reporter, where they were talking about Thor 5 being in initial development. The same now appears to be as it was back then, because the first question on everybody's mind was, is Taika Waititi gonna come back to direct this one too? Thor Love and Thunder, not anybody's favorite Marvel film, at least that I know, and while it did make quite a bit of money at the box office, was not received well by fans at all, especially since it was the follow-up to Thor Ragnarok, which many people regarded as one of the better Marvel films and finds its way into a lot of top 10 MCU lists. It should relieve a good number of you here at the channel to find out that in fact, emphatically, Thor 5 will not be directed by Taika Waititi, and there's even rumors he won't be working with Disney at all anymore after his Star Wars film seems dead in the water, and we could spend an entire video or two talking about the downfall of Taika Waititi's writing. He started with an amazing number of intro films like Jojo Rabbit, What We Do in the Shadows, obviously Thor Ragnarok was an absolute banger, and then his latest installments at the box office have been a lot less than. Again, topic for a separate video, maybe even a separate channel. But the director that's now heavily tied to Thor 5 and has a great chance to direct the film is actually George Miller, and that's because of his latest installment with Furiosa, what he did with the lead actor in Chris Hemsworth, and the fact that he himself in interviews has admitted he's open to anything when it comes to working with Chris Hemsworth again. So obviously people are going to draw a straight line between the two and said he did great work with Chris Hemsworth, he did an awesome job on Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, let's definitely let him direct Thor 5. And to be fair, even Thor himself, Chris Hemsworth, has openly admitted in interviews, which I'm sure a lot of you at the channel are very familiar with, that the tone in Thor Love and Thunder just got way too silly. It was basically a caricature of the character himself, and that if he was going to do Thor 5, he would want to change the tone dramatically, which makes sense, maybe revisit the original tone of the films and find a happy medium between Ragnarok and, say, the first film instead of whatever the heck we got in Thor Love and Thunder. Now let's switch stances for a moment from this stuff that's behind the camera to what's in front of the camera in the MCU canon and what Thor means to all of this. Number one, he's one of the OG Avengers, and I suspected that with the return of the Russos and the few OG Avengers that they have left in the canon, that they were going to focus on those characters and then throw some others in like Doctor Strange. I lightweight expect that some of this is going to be the dead end, the end of the line for those actors tied to those roles. We have plenty of time to talk about who's going to die though. More importantly for Thor is not him possibly dying, but his power level. Thor is one of the most powerful characters we have left in the MCU, maybe outside of Scarlet Witch, and save a couple of others that in the comics are more powerful than him but have yet to display that anywhere on screen. And you have to wonder, with limited time left, if we're even going to see some of the higher power level sets for someone like Adam Warlock. It seems like there is a tier here where you just fly around and blast things. Adam Warlock should not equal Captain Marvel, but in fact, because again, limited screen time, what we have in canon in the MCU, we just don't know. But with Thor, there's higher power level sets yet to go. Like with Hulk, there's World War Hulk, but with Thor, we still could see Rune King Thor, and I do not believe, for anyone who's theorized we've already seen that iteration of the character, that we quite have yet. One of the classic things about Thor is that the more he loses, the more powerful he gets. And while they may have tried to explore this a little bit in some of the previous films, they have talked about how much his loss is, and he has gotten more powerful as he goes further and further along. The whole losing both of his eyes in the comics, he gouges his own eyes out to become Rune King Thor. In Ragnarok, he obviously lost one eye and then seemed to power up, but there are still much higher power level sets that we could see Thor aspire to in the MCU, like Rune King Thor. And I suspect that giving him a Thor 5 not only gives Marvel Studios and the Russos to move chess pieces that they need and introduce any last minute lore, because let's face it guys, they still have a ton that they need to explain about the Multiverse Saga. So not only does Thor offer them one of the more powerful characters to take on Doctor Doom, but it also offers them a chance to take care of some of the heavy lifting they need to in order to suit the narrative. I don't think it's going to come to a major shock to really anyone who's ever paid attention to the MCU to know that any characters they have left over from the Infinity Saga, they're going to use in Avengers Secret Wars, especially a major powerful character like Thor. But I mean, there's a parallel here between Chris Hemsworth, the actor, and the character he's playing in Thor, in that neither of them deserve Love and Thunder as the last outing, or conversely, they both deserve redemption. Chris Hemsworth has done too much great work in the MCU and too much great work as Thor and that character to leave him off at Thor Love and Thunder and have that be his last solo film for the Thor character. Parallel to that, Thor does not deserve to be left in the state of caricature and stupor that he was during Thor Love and Thunder. He definitely deserves Thor 5 in order so that the character can be redeemed and set up in a much better light and in a much better place before we see him in a major way in the 2 upcoming Avengers films. You guys let me know all your thoughts though down below. Is George Miller your number 1 pick to direct Thor 5? And if not, who you got? I am all ears as always. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. Alright, we are still giving away PlayStation 5s at the channel. We're just going to continue to do that until the PlayStation 5 Pro or the 6 comes out at this point, who knows. Either way, if you want to be entered to win, super simple, and all the same rules will always apply for giveaways here at the channel. First up, you need to be a subscriber, so hit the sub button. Then leave a comment down below, and because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on, and as always, if you like today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. Find me in a couple places, Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes under the name AllFires. And while I sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.